Welcome to Viking country. I'm John Shuttleworth and I'm here on the east coast of England, near where real Vikings came ashore 1,000 years ago. Helping me on the programme is student butler Tom Holloway. He's on work experience, aren't you, Tom? Come on. Right. Now, this is the house of Viking expert Janet Gershwick. She's not expecting us, as you can see, so we'd better introduce ourselves. Janet Gershwick? Yes? Viking expert? Yes? Congratulations, Janet. Your house has been chosen for our show, Talking Viking. Can we come in? Thank you. Come on, man. Welcome to Talking Viking, the show where we find out who the Vikings were and why they came to Britain. Ah, tea. Oh, thank you, Tom. But first, a word or two from Viking expert Janet Gershwick. These Vikings, I've heard, they came rowing across the sea in longships with horns on their helmets. Is this true?
Do you know, I'm so fed up hearing people talk about horns on their helmets. They didn't have horns on their helmets.
They did?
No, they didn't. But it is true that they were very skilled seamen. They did row, but they also sailed on long voyages around the world to save the energies of their rowers. And they were brilliant builders and designers of these wooden ships. And the ships took them around the world as traders, but they were fierce characters. And as warriors in battle, they fought to the death.
I see. Right, well, where did they come from, the Vikings? Let's see now, because a little while ago, Camilla Vensky, I think I pronounced that correctly, she sent us this report from across the sea in the Viking homelands.
The homelands of the Vikings were here in Scandinavia, the places we now call Norway, Sweden and Denmark, where you're never far from the sea. Here at Trelleborg Museum, they have reconstructed a Viking longhouse. It's made of wood and completely different from the houses people live in today. Family and community life was very important to the Vikings, who usually lived closely together for strength and safety.
Joining me on the sofa now is a real Viking. Hello, welcome to the show.
I'm Eric, son of Harald. I travel from place to place, I buy, I sell. I am a trader.
You see, John, these Viking traders were great navigators. They travelled everywhere, buying and selling, and they even popped down to the Mediterranean for a drop of wine.
Oh, did they? Well, listen, Eric, or may I call you son of Harold? What are you selling, eh? Have you got any special offers? Because I love a bargain.
Yes, I have furs here from the Arctic. I've got walrus ivory bangles, very nice. And here, from the Baltic, I have an amber necklace, if you're looking for something really special.
Yeah. Shall we say $4.99? Tell you what, I'll give you a fiver, but I should expect a penny change.
Well, I'm sorry, but we don't really deal in paper. It has no value.
Well, of course it's got value. It's a fiver, isn't it, Johnny?
Almost certainly is, yes.
I know. Eric wants coins. That's what it is, isn't it? Here you are.
Real silver?
Oh, it's not real silver, no. What's the matter? You don't have this problem at B&Q.
Well, you see, I need real silver in order to check the weight on these scales. You give me the silver, I give you the beads. It doesn't have to be coins, just real silver, you understand? That's how trading works. That's how the true Viking tradition works.
I see. Well, I'll have to summon the butler, Thomas, see if he's got a silver spoon on his tray. Thomas! Funny business though, isn't it? Spoons instead of cash. Well, that's all we've got time for at the moment, Derek. Sorry, Eric, son of Harold. But we'll join you, we'll catch up with you later, no doubt, on Talkin Viking. Oh, Thomas, you took your time. So, we now know that the Vikings came to Britain by ship from all over Scandinavia. But how long ago were they here? Well, out in the garden, waiting to explain, is my student butler, Tom Holloway, and our Viking expert, Janet Gershlich, who, incidentally, has still got me fiver.
Now, this is a timeline. I'm going to show you how it works, but I'd like to take you back 2,000 years to the year 43, when the Romans first invaded Britain. Now, they were very big and powerful and strong, but they still had to leave. Now, the Saxons turned up, and the British thought, yes, we'll have a go at them, but eventually the Saxons were in charge. Thank you, Tom. Now, the Vikings turned up. This is the first time, 1,200 years ago, in the year 793. They turned up, and the King Alfred said, we'll have a go at them as well. So he had a go, but more Vikings turned up. And eventually, in the year 1016, Danish King Canute ruled both sides of the North Sea. Now, they thought they got away with it until the Battle of Hastings in 1066. The Normans invaded from France, and they invaded Britain. Now, I think that the Vikings probably got their reputation as violent invaders from the raids that they made on English monasteries, and in particular for their attack on the monks at Lindisfarne Abbey in Northumbria in 793. So let's sum up. 2,000 years ago, and the Roman army, tough, ruthless, conquered Britain. Romans were here for 400 years or so. 1,500 years ago, and in come the Saxons from Germany and Scandinavia, basically farmers and traders, but still opposed by the Brits. 1,200 years ago, and Vikings raid the holy island of Lindisfarne. More and more battles over the next couple of hundred years, and Alfred, an English king, actually kept the Vikings out of Western England. But all the same, by 1016, the Viking Canute made himself king of Denmark and England.
Well, Viking warriors, fierce, brave and proud. Dying in battle was a great honour to a Viking, and they say that a Viking sword was his most treasured possession. But what did Vikings believe happened to them when they died? Well, to put us in a picture, here now is a bedtime tale from Gudrun Saga in the story corner upstairs. No dozing off now.
When the world began, the god Odin, who's the chief of all the gods of the Vikings, created heaven above and the earth below. Odin governed the world. It was he who decided who should live and who should die whenever Vikings met with their enemies in battle. Odin loved the Viking warriors who died for him in battle. So when they died, their spirits were sent to Valhalla, where they could live forever, feasting, drinking, fighting in lots more battles for the glory of all Viking peoples everywhere.
Oh, it's me again, Tom. Yes, there were great storytellers. Vikings didn't have chocolate-covered biscuits, by the way. Excuse me. Did you know speaking was more important than writing to a Viking? But they did write down little sayings on sticks, bones, and slabs of stone, like this scale model, all in a special language they called runes. Looks like squiggles to me. Matches my jacket well, though, doesn't it? What were they, exactly, these runes? Well, a couple of weeks ago, we sent our history expert, Histy John, over to Denmark to hunt for a real Viking runestone.
Copenhagen, capital of Denmark. A good night's sleep, and then some rune hunting. Now, the problem about finding rune stones is that they're scattered all over the place. So where do you start? Get into the countryside, they said. Buy a ticket, take the train. Look everywhere, and don't forget to scan the quays where the boats are. Taxi! Taxi! Taxi!
And what am I looking for? Engraved stones the size of boulders.
So how would Vikings do it? Apparently this is the best way to go rune hunting, in a boat, Viking style. Cars, trains and boats. Finally they pointed me in the direction of a small church where they promised I'd find what I was looking for. So here it is, a real runestone with the letters engraved into the surface. And this one has a message. It's a memorial to somebody's father. But no, it didn't start life here inside the church. It would have been outside like other runestones. Outdoor stones with carved messages are what remains of Viking runes. So what do the messages say? Well, some were memorials. This one says, carved by Futher in memory of his brother Assur, who died on a Viking adventure. Others were magical charms, or they recorded events. The alphabet isn't the one we use. So how did runes work? Well, Viking letters have straight lines, so they're easy to carve. Runes were special because Vikings believed the god Odin discovered them. And maybe only certain people in the Viking community knew how to write them.
Runestones, smashing. All right, via the magic of television, it's time now to go live across the sea, because waiting for us on the other side of the ocean is our Danish reporter, Tor Danske. Over to you, Tor!
Hello to you in England. I'm here at the Viking Ship Museum in Roskilde, Denmark. It's a very big museum where they got all sorts of ships from the Viking period. Yes, there's plenty to see here, and we'll be back later to find out how the Vikings made their ships. Talkin Viking.
Otis, original oatcakes from Olaf. Handmade in Esbjerg, eaten everywhere. Otis, fit for a nobleman.
Olaf's original Otis. So Olafi versatile.
Nice.
Welcome to the wonderful world of Freya and Eric. They can walk, they can run. Freya can set sail in her very own radio-controlled longboat. Turn Eric's special key and marvel as he recites his Viking sagas. And they can cope with family feuds together. The wonderful, wonderful world of Freya and Eric. Only available from Toys R Us.
Valuable Viking silver from Forge, the family silver merchant. Yes, for just 1 week, Forge is offering heavyweight silver tokens at prices you simply won't believe. Buy one, get another free. Yes, your own personalised silver tokens, 2 for the price of 1. Forge, the family silver merchant, where you can always strike a bargain.
Welcome back to Denmark. Here at the Roskilde Museum they also built exact copies of Viking boats. Earlier today I asked Christian Østergaard, one of the boat builders, all about it.
My job is being a boat builder trainee. At the moment we are building a replica of an old Viking ship which is found further up on the fjord.
How do you start building it?
Well, first we need some drawings of the original boat. Then you start with the keel, to chop out the keel and the stems. When you have done that, then you start to put the planks on.
Now what sort of tools are you using?
Mostly we use traditional tools as axes and drills that use hands to make it go around. It will take us around a year to build it. I think the Vikings would have used only a few months to build a ship because there were much more people building it.
That's Viking shipbuilding. But in a few minutes we'll be going out to sea in this boat. So don't go away, England.
We won't. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Now then, Talkin Viking moves into the kitchen for The Thing. Viking expert Janet Gershlick will now explain.
John, Viking society had three classes. Slaves who did lots of the hard work. They were often prisoners who were captured in war. And then there were the nobles, the local chieftains who ruled. And in the middle, free men. Traders, farmers, warriors, those sorts of people. Now then, in each Viking area, they had an assembly to sort out complaints. If you felt you had something to say or you felt you'd been cheated, you came along to the Thing to speak your mind.
What thing?
No, the Thing, that's what the Vikings called the assembly.
Oh, I see.
Now that's what we've set up here in the kitchen, our own talking Viking Thing. Here's the assembly of free men, ready to hear what people have to say and to judge what's right or wrong. And here is our Viking trader, a free man himself. He's here to complain about being cheated.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Eric.
So let's get going and see who's been accused.
Yes. Earlier today, I gave a valuable amber necklace to a Mr. John Shuttleworth in exchange for these 2 silver spoons.
Yeah, that's right. I gave him the spoons instead of a fiver.
It was a completely unfair trade. The silver in these spoons is very poor quality. It has almost no value.
What do you mean?
Well, you know exactly what I mean, Mr. Shuttleworth. I believe you knew this when you tried to cheat me out of the necklace.
I didn't.
This is not the Viking way. First, he gives me paper instead of silver, then tin coins, then useless spoons. Anything but the true value of the necklace.
Oh, it's not true. What are you on about, son of Harold? I thought we were friends.
We are friends no longer.
Oh, all right, all right. We'll leave the free men to decide who's right and who's wrong in a minute. But, John, do you have anyone who can speak up for you?
Well, yes, I do, actually. The apprentice butler, Tom. Tell him, Tom, I wouldn't cheat anybody, would I?
Well, he is a bit mean, especially with the chocolate biscuits. But he is honest, yeah.
But is there anyone who knows Eric, son of Harold?
Yes, me. I bought goods from him in all the same markets. I've seen people buy from him all the time. He's completely honest. He wouldn't cheat anyone, ever.
You say that now.
Well, there you are, free men. You've heard the case, you've seen the witness. The judgment is yours. Did John Shuttleworth cheat Eric out of a valuable amber necklace? Take a few moments to decide. Okay, now let's take a vote. Is John Shuttleworth innocent or guilty? A show of hands for guilty.
Guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
So there you are, John Shuttleworth. In our Talking Viking Thing, I'm afraid you have been found guilty, and I'm afraid you will have to pay up after the show.
Oh, that's a switch. It's not right. All right, pipe down, you've had your say. It's time now for another tale from Gudrun Saga in the Corny Story, or even in the Story Corner, upstairs. Put me off there.
In the home of the Viking gods, close to the spring of eternal wisdom, stood the great ash tree. Here it was that the great god Thor learned the true value of the magic hammer that he'd been given to protect the gods from the mighty giants all round them. So magical was the hammer that with it Thor could strike up mighty storms. For what is the sound of thunder, if not the beating of Thor's hammer in the skies above our heads? We remember the great god Thor every week on his day, Thor's Day, Thursday.
Well, I didn't know that. Right, from Thor in the skies, it's back to our Thor, Thor Danska, boating along the fjord over in Denmark.
As you can see now, we're out in the middle of the fjord, but we'll have to row until we find the place where there's enough wind to raise the sail. By my side, Troels Nielsen, the captain. What kind of ship is this?
This is a small warship. It has 26 rowers on board and a small sail. There are many different kinds of Viking ships. here in the fjord, they had found 5 different types of ships, warships, fishing boats, trade ships, also a larger warship than this one. So they had as many kinds of ships as we had today.
Okay, that was all we had time for. Tor Danska, Talkin Viking, Roskilde Fjord, Denmark. Back to you in England.
Thanks, Tor. And we're nearly out of time too. But before we go, let's just count down with Viking expert Janet Gershlik and her top 10 facts about the Vikings in Britain. Janet.
Thanks, John. And here's the list. Number 10, Vikings came from Denmark, Norway and Sweden. Number 9, they were good farmers but fierce warriors as well. 8, Viking society was divided into classes. At the top, the ruling families, in the middle, free men, and then at the bottom of the heap, the slaves. 7, the spoken word was probably more important than writing. Number 6, Vikings were fine seamen who built mighty efficient sailing ships. 5, Vikings traded all over the world. Number 4, the first Viking attacks on Britain were at Lindisfarne in 793. 3, King Alfred fought against the Vikings. 2, by 1016 the Viking Canute had made himself king of England and Denmark. And number 1, Viking free men settled disputes in the Thing. My top 10 facts about the Vikings.
So there we have it, Talking Viking. Thanks, Janet, for letting us use your house. And thanks especially to our friends over there in Denmark. But in the meantime, from me, John Shuttleworth, and Viking expert Janet Gershlik, keep the fiver, by the way, Janet, wear and tear. It's goodbye from Talking Viking!